hand-to-hand combat on the seas off Israel. This latest dramatic footage shows the scale of the battle on board the aid vessel the Mavi Marmara. Israeli commandos rappel down ropes into a hostile crowd. One is overwhelmed by activists and tossed off the top deck. Seconds later, the operations commander is heard on the radio. They're beating the hell out of them, he says repeatedly, as his forces are beaten with iron bars and poles in what looks more like a pirate film. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called short his tour of America to fly home and deal with the crisis.
We are in the middle of unfolding events as a result of what happened yesterday. I explained to the Prime Minister that I would have to cut my visit short and go back to Israel. I just had a conversation with President Obama, and I told him that I would have to go back to Israel.
We have one person has just been hit in the head by a bullet. We think we have one person has been killed.
Condemnation is mounting in Israel for an operation clearly unprepared for what was waiting on board, and an incident that's left Israel condemned around the world. Allies are demanding an explanation.
We will all want to know more about whether more could have been done to minimise the risks or to reduce the number of deaths and injuries. That is why we agree with our EU partners and other international partners that there must be a full and impartial and independent investigation or inquiry into these events.
In the region there have been angry protests in Turkey, Jordan and Lebanon, and violence on the West Bank and in Arab towns in Israel. In the port town of Ashdod, Israelis mounted counter-demonstrations supporting their military.
Ordinary Israelis have turned out to show their support for their military, but this operation has been criticised widely in Israel for being bungled and for handing Israel's enemies a PR coup.
As we continued filming, this pro-Israeli demo turned ugly, demonstrators setting on two Israeli Arab women caught in the crowd. There have been similar scenes in the north of the country. Tensions are mounting as Israel struggles to contain the fallout of its bungled operation. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Ashdod Port, Israel.